Hi Tennis. So just a wee quick video from me today because we're going to be doing a little bit of revision on some averaging-y type stuff just before we move on to the next stuff in this topic. So I'm just going to remind you here how you calculate the mean, the mode, the median and the range. So I'm going to do that for all of this set of data here. Okay, so we've got this bunch of numbers. Let's say it's marks out of 20 in a test or something like that. Okay, and we've got a bunch of different pupils. There's lots of different averages that we can calculate. The most common one is the mean. So that's the one that is used like anytime I would be like, oh, the class average is such and such, it's always the mean. Okay, so let's look at how we do that first of all. Right, so I've written this here. This isn't how I'll always write it. In fact, whenever we get onto our new stuff, you'll see how I'm more likely to write this. But basically, to find the mean average, just the mean, you add up all the numbers, so that's the sum of all the numbers, and then you divide by how many you have. So this is going to be 8 plus 15 plus 9 plus 17, etc, etc, etc. And then divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we've got 10 values there. So whenever I did that, whenever I added these all up, I got 136, and then I have to divide by 10. So that means my mean value is going to be 13.6. Now always check with these that your answer is sensible. And another little tip here, see whenever you're adding them all up, so you can see here I've added them all up and I've got 136. Make sure you hit equals before you divide by something, because your calculator will use BIDMAS, and if you don't hit equals before hitting divide by 10 or whatever the number of things that there are, your calculator will apply BIDMAS and it'll mess it up. So check your answer is sensible. 13.6 does seem sensible for this group of numbers. If I'd got like 54, I would know that's impossible because none of my answers are anywhere near as high as that. The next average that we need to be able to do is the median. So the median is the middle value. And before we do that, we need to list our values in order from smallest to biggest. Okay, so I've got that done. I've listed them in order, and you can see here as I was doing that, I was just scoring these out, and then it meant I'm less likely to miss one or to list one twice or anything like that. So to find the middle value, right? So I said we have 10. Well, if we have 10 values, we don't have an actual middle value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The middle of my values here is smack bang in the middle, because I've got 5 values there and I've got 5 values there. If that is the case, then all you do really is find the mean of these two values. So to find this median here, it's really going to be 15 plus 15, adding the two digits up and divide by the number of them, which is obviously going to give me 15. Okay, so my median here is 15. Now sometimes if you have an odd number of values, so say we only had 9 values, then there will just be one middle value. A wee sneaky way that you can always figure out where the middle value is going to be. We had 10 values here. If I add 1 onto that, I get 11. Divide by 2, 5.5. So that's halfway between 5 and 6. So halfway between the 5th and the 6th value, which is this here. Okay, so you will remember doing that before. Okay, next one is mode. So the mode is the most common, so mode, most common. It's just the one that appears the most, and depending on the situation, sometimes this would be the most useful average to use. So for example, if you worked in a shop and you sold shoes, the most common sold size is going to be the one that you're going to want to order the most of. So it is the most useful for situations like that. So you can either refer back to your original list, but I actually think if I look back at this one, it's really easy to find what the most common one is. So the most common here is going to be 15. So for us in this one, our most common value is 15, so our mode is 15. Last thing then that we would get asked in these type of questions would be the range in the results or the values, and that's just the biggest value take away the smallest value. So our biggest value here is 19 and our smallest value is 8. So that means our range is going to be 11. So that's the type of stuff you're going to be doing in some questions today. I'm just going to have a quick look over some of the questions here with you, okay? So one of the ones you're going to be doing here is question 7, and you can see here we have got a bunch of what's this about? Heights of tomato plants. So you've got a bunch of heights here, and it asks you in this question to complete a frequency table. So I just want to remind you what that actually means. You'll do a little bit of tallying on this. So you're going to be taking the heights from the big list of information, and then I would add in a wee tally column here. So I would tally as I would go. Remember, so if you have, see the way 23 appears here and 23 appears here, because this one means that the height is less than or including 23, 23 is going to go in this one, not this one. Because this one's height's greater than 23, that doesn't include 23. Okay, let's see if there's any others I want to look at. Only other one that I think might be a little bit dodgy here is question 8. So we've got a frequency polygon. It's almost like a bar chart, but with points plotted instead of bars. So for example, let me see, what is this about? Students in a school to run 200 meters. So that means there's 16 people that took 90 seconds. Okay, and you just have to work your way down through these. I'm trying not to give you too many hints, but work your way down through them. How many students ran the 200? So you're going to be adding up all those frequencies. The range is going to be the biggest time, take away the smallest time. That's enough hints. Okay, I will list the questions that I want you to do in our assignment, and then let me see them. Okay, bye.